topic of the discussions is on the Capex-Led Modernization, basically, and growth for drivers for Indian Railways. And so, just to give an introduction about the Equirus Capital, we are a 265-member team having a presence in 29 cities. We do institutional research and coverage. We cover more than 250 stocks, roughly around third or fourth largest number of stocks covered by a single brokerage house. We had done a deal worth $11 billion basically and raised. We have a stock broking, institutional broking, where we do a turnover of around $6 billion per month, which is roughly 3% of the market share. Then we have a asset management business where we manage wealth management and asset management, manage close to $1 billion. And so these are the founder. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is a founding shareholder for Equirus, and a Federal Bank is again a shareholder with Equirus, and employee shareholder. We believe in creating the winning partners. So Equirus is sponsoring the sportsman. These two gentlemen, they are sponsoring for Olympic goals. That's a target. This is a brief of the team. Basically, well-experienced team from Equirus. These are some of the deals what has been done by Equirus. Just to tell all of you, today we had a D-development, which is IPO, which is got listed. It was subscribed more than 100 times, basically. And so this is a capital market journey of Equirus. We had done phenomenal work in last 3 years. These are the IPOs which we had done, basically. And just to come on the railways, I think when I talk to investment market, the capital market, the railways is a buzzing story. So I cover infrastructure last 25 years on the infra side, end to end basically, and I'd seen how the road companies, because the NHI, when they started giving the projects on BOT, EPC, HAM, and the payments were guaranteed. I think the one question which was asked, why the government of India sovereign guarantee is not given. I think today NHI, no sovereign guarantee is there, but you see the line of funds, all global funds are there who are acquired the road assets. Similar thing may happen in railways also, but the railways, because I think if you spend a 1 rupee, it has a GDP impact of 4 rupees, and it is a percolating impact across industries. And that's why when we are seeing a consistent railway capex, the railway stocks are moving much faster, the valuations are growing much faster. That's why the index for railway companies is much higher than other sector companies. If I see the economy, I'm just taking you through the economy. Basically, we had a contraction during the COVID era, but now I think around 6 to 7% economic GDP growth is expected, and I think it's a given. Probably, if we don't falter on any other parameters, I think that's achievable. It can go to 8% also intermittently, and our population also, like, we will be reaching to a 1.5 billion people, so maybe around 2030, next 10 years, next decade, basically. So that also, and 60% of our population will be a working class population. And we are also seeing a fundamental shift. We are seeing a urbanization of the country, basically. So the government also targets around 60% of the population should be in urban areas, and that 38% they are saying right now. So, but yeah, it's a big number. We are talking of 31%, 36 to 38% roughly, which will be urban population, which will require services again, including railways. Then these are the drivers of the growth, basically. If we see railways, the passenger traffic and freight traffic, there's a thrust from the government to increase this both basically and increase the market share there, which will have an impact on your network expansion, bogies, wagons, and passenger trains, and systems and service providers. Then National Rail Plan aims to increase the share to 45% from currently 27% from the freight traffic. And then we are looking at around 6 dedicated freight corridors to increase the train speed and give the dedicated network for freights. Today, what is happening? If you have a passenger train and a goods train is parked, passenger train is allowed to go, and that's why you see we average speed of goods train are around between 25 to 40, which is very very low, and that's why railways have lost share in the goods traffic. Basically, they were once upon a time 50%, now they are 27%, and they want to go back basically. And then there is a expansion in rail network basically. This is a now new tracks are being laid, new areas are being covered. Then there are congestion. The railways have identified there are so single lane to two lane to three lane to four lane. They are doing a network expansion depending on the uses of that network. And there is a detailed plan. National NRP was made, and they had identified various sectors where they need to do this doubling, tripling, and four lining, and which is a high density networks, what they call HDL. So I think the passenger traffic has taken a hit during the COVID, and I think we had still not reached to a COVID level, pre-COVID level, which was that's a target, like we will have a 12 billion passenger traffic by 2031. It will be above the pre-COVID. There is a still gap, 8.1 to 6.8 we had reached. So we had to reach. Others like road and I think air traffic, they had crossed their pre-COVID level, but railways have still not crossed the pre-COVID levels basically. I think this is why you see on the roadside your passenger cars, buses traffic has increased. So railways have lost passengers to roads basically and other air. And if I see freight was not hit by the COVID. That was a very good news for the railways. And if we see consistently there is an increase and there is a plan to increase the freight from 2024, what was the tagline for this year, they had achieved it. And I think 220 basically million ton. It's a big target, and for that a detailed planning has been done on that. I think there is a good news that central government is allocating resources for capex in the railways, and there is a consistent budget allocation. And if we see last 2 years, the budget allocations are more than 2.25 lakh crores, like 2.4 this year, 2.5. I think in the next month's budget, probably we will see a 2.75 lakh crore allocation. Because as per NRP, that's a capex. They need to spend around 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh crores capex for next 10 to 15 years to modernize the entire railways basically and achieve the targets what they are looking at. How this is panning out in the capital markets, basically see the capex-led railways capex are translating into the orders for the railway focused companies. Basically we had bifurcated into a rail manufacturing and rail EPC companies. And if we see their revenue, basically they had grown basically across the board. They had CAGR, there is a growth of at least 30 to 40% growth in their revenues for all these companies. And these are all profitable. Railways, one sector is not seeing a underbidding. Roads, we are seeing like NHAI is estimating 1,000 crore, people are bidding at 950, 900. Railways, that thing is not happening. So it's a profitable growth, which is also getting translated into the market cap. If we see the market cap of these companies, basically all these companies, it has grown like 100 like 300 to 900%, and some cases 3,700% also. So the market is believing that yes, railways companies will get good orders, they will make profit, and that is why they are giving a forward valuation to all these companies. And I think railways are looking to reform. It is on the efficiency, capacity, and modernize. So there are various pillars which we can see. One is a Vande Bharat. I think the now we are looking at a Vande Bharat trains, Vande Bharat sleeper trains, Vande Bharat metros, Vande Bharat intercity trains, basically. That is what they are looking at. Dedicated freight corridors, basically to give the dedicated corridors for freight movement, so that freight movements becomes faster. It can transport at least 80 to 100 kilometer speed, and double decker trains basically. Kavach is again, we were talking of railway safety. I think this is a homegrown system, Kavach, uh, and where this can increase the safety of the railway systems basically. Gati Shakti terminals, they are required basically. See, today goods terminal, they are all congested basically. So I'll come on that. For that, you require a Gati Shakti terminals to handle the freight basically, and a modernization, various initiatives on the modernization of railways. So I think this is the Vande Bharat train. If we talk of the indigenously developed train, basically 160 kilometers design speed, and it's again a high tech train, and there's a time saving basically for travel time you with the conventional train, because you are running at 160, and then other trains are running at 80 or 100. Shatabdi Rajdhani are running at 100. Right now, Vande Bharat, I think they had restricted the speed to 100 kilometers because the tracks are not upgraded to run for this speed basically. And I think there is a uh, trains, like upgradation of existing trains also is being thought basically for one, making them the Vande Bharat trains, some of the trains basically. And intercity metro, which is a very unique concept, like you're working residing in Meerut, come to Delhi, work and go, like metros for city, intracity we are using a metro. Similar way, Vande Bharat trains will be for intercity metros basically. So that's a planning which is also going on. I think DFCs really Western Eastern DFC is fully operational. Western DFC is around 90% operational, and we are seeing an impact of that. The train speed has increased. Our carrying capacity has increased here in the DFC, because you have a double decker trains which are moving on this DFCs basically. And then there are 6 more DFCs which has been announced, and the work has started at different stages on that basically. So see, this will help a railway to increase their share in the rail traffic basically, the DFCs. And I think another concept which is also going on is a RoRo. The vehicle will run on the train. Then see, today why railways have lost share. One of the biggest issue is that you need a door to door delivery. In railways, there is no door to door delivery, and there is no safety of your material. You don't know when the train will come, when the material will come. And today's the industries are like a just in time. Well, they can't live in uncertainties. So that is changing. I think another thing which is happening is a containerization of cargo. So unless until there is a containerization of cargo, railway share will still struggle basically. So what they are doing, like a truck is coming, fully loaded truck, loaded on the train, it goes to the destination, truck gets down and move basically. So this is also helping, like if we see a Konkan region basically, where the truck goes on the road, it takes time because it's a hilly region. So Konkan Railway started this thing, and I think that is also getting on the DFCs also. So it increased the speed of the truck, cost of running the truck is not there. Railways are charging much lower charge than they would have spent on the diesel cost for running that truck. So it is helping a win-win. Ro is becoming a win-win, and that can be an innovative strategy to increase the market share for railways. And I think another thing which is there is a electrification of the tracks basically. So electrification of tracks, I think around 90% plus tracks have been electrified. India's railways diesel consumption has come down drastically. So that's one way of greening the transport sector and greening the railways. So which is also, and see, with the electrification you are able to use a high capacity locomotives like a 6500 horsepower locomotive which can carry a longer train, double decker trains, which was not possible with the diesel locomotives because they were on the lower side basically on the capacity. And see, again this I was talking of the DFC basically. It's the same thing. And a Kavach basically, railways started using the Kavach in 2020 basically, and it's again advanced electronic systems which is installed on the train tracks basically, and early warning system. It works basically, and it's a very automatic braking system, and prevents from crossing the red signals, and prevents collision, centralized live monitoring, cost effective, and very low probability of error. So really Kavach will increase the safety of railway networks, and I think there is a target of covering every year at least 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers of railway networks through Kavach basically, and this will help in reduction of your accidents basically. That's the primary reason. And I think the Gati Shakti terminal was a very good policy, which was like earlier, if you were to set up a goods terminal, uh, then you have to go to at least various departments, let's say 15 to 20 departments to get your approvals. Now, Gati Shakti is a single window clearance, and a policy change has been made that railways will not charge for uses of their land, their network basically. Only the operator is responsible for his area. Railways are responsible outside his terminal. Everything is railways are taking. Otherwise, you used to pay a charges for making a connections when you would make a line from the nearest railway station. All those costs now the railways are taking onto their head basically. Why Gati Shakti terminals are important for railways basically? See, railways says that my core strength is transportation. My core strength is not loading, unloading, and storage of the goods. See, they want to focus on a larger picture for increasing their market share and a freight carrying. So they said, let me focus on my thing and let the private parties. So this is a very good PPP, successful PPP in railways, Gati Shakti terminals basically. And where the private party comes, set up the terminal and handle the goods, and the railways share their share of the freight with the terminal also. So very innovative. It becomes a viable for a Gati Shakti terminal operator also, and for railways, railways is able to focus on the train operations basically rather than other. We had seen goods sheds are very pathetic condition. You take 2 days, 3 days to unload a train. Then all the terminals are within the city, so you don't get evacuation in time. All those issues you can avoid. You can make this terminals outskirts of the city, and 24/7 operations can be there basically in this terminal. Then these are the like upgradation, some modernization, upgradation of railway stations. I think there are 50 railway stations have been identified for phase one, and then next phases also. And I think a beautiful modernization like target is that you are entering an airport or a railway station, you will not know. Basically, that's a earlier there was a privatization PPP. The government tried to do on the railway modern station modernization, but they didn't got interest. And then they said, okay, let me develop and we will see later. I think that's a good stand taken by the government. And I think another, to increase the speed, see today railway tracks are not barricaded. So anybody can just walk, animals crossing. We had heard about so many accidents due to animals and all that. So they are now barricading the tracks basically, and so this will increase the safety, and it will allow for running high speed trains. So if you have a design speed of 160 kilometers, then you can use that. Like Ashok sir said, ki you have to go step by step, 100, 100 and 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 300, and then that's a progress. So railway, the network safety will come from there, and I think the safety initiatives already there, and budget is allocated, and Kavach, they are looking at a 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers of Kavach systems to be installed year on year, and I think a high-speed train, but the first high-speed train will soon be operational. I think it will take another 2 to 3 years for that. But there are other high-speed trains are being planned in different part of the country. Basically, that's a good initiatives which is happening. And I think another is a current coaches upgradation plan, basically. So railways are looking at, it's not that we run with the old coaches. Can we use these coaches, upgrade them for running at a higher speed, and increase the passenger amenities in those coaches? So that is also they are working basically. I think this is a one wild thought. Just living on that. See, we had seen LIC. We never thought that the LIC IPO will happen, basically. But we had seen a successful LIC IPO with a market cap of more than 3 lakh crores, basically. If for railways, we just did a mathematics for railway companies, and what we think that railways can come for a IPO at least 40 lakh crores valuation, basically. And I think every year if rail ministry sells 5% of it, it helps them to meet their capex target, and railways can become a self-sufficient from that perspective. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for patience listening. Any questions, please? Happy to answer. Yeah. No, one question and then just quick.
Thank you, sir. It was already very exhausted. I think you have covered all the areas. My question is on railway electrification and use of diesel locomotives. As you are
Sir,
aware,
I am not a technical
no, sir,
person, so
because why I am asking this question?
can we just spend
No.
time over the lunch? I think
No.
I was told.
It will take only half a minute. You are aware that since 2014, Indian Railways, they have electrified nearly 40,000 kilometers of track. And they have spent nearly 47,000 crore rupees. Now my question is, once the whole of the track is electrified, there will be the excess nearly 5,000 diesel locomotives will be of no use. Now, if you see the adjoining country, considering Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they may utilize some of the second-hand diesel locomotives. But
Sir, why don't you think it will be electrified by the vendors?
Let's listen to my question, sir.
Sir, can we take another lunch? I think I was told that we are already delayed for a lunch, so we can talk in person on this question. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.